Hello there, guitar lovers of the internet. My name is Ollie, and it is once again my pleasure to present to you one hell of a guitar. And of course, it is none other than the ESP E-II M2 FM in see-through black. Being a guitar of Japanese origin and from ESP, take those two together and you basically have guitar perfection. Let me tell you right now. For those that are fans of a high-performance guitar that's going to handle all of your riffs, all of your shredding flawlessly, and by flawlessly I mean a guitar that just lets you play it, you're not going to have to fight it in any way, shape or form. This is without a doubt the guitar for you. So in this video we're going to talk about the guitar, we're going to talk about different features, design features, things that make it such a high-performance shredding machine, and yeah, and a bit of background on the E-II guitars as well. Why should you get one if you're thinking about it? And maybe some differences between the LTD models as well. Before we jump in though, if you enjoy the video, feel free to throw it a thumbs up or even to subscribe. Even though it's a click of a button, believe me, it actually does help. So E-II, what is it? Basically, this is the standard production line from ESP guitars. E-II is obviously on the headstock. Nowadays, in order to get ESP on the headstock, you need to get either an ESP USA instrument or go back to Japan to get an ESP custom shop guitar, basically. So look, there are some people that complain, you know, that you don't get the ESP logo on the headstock nowadays, but that is the reason. This was introduced, the E-II range, I should say, was introduced to basically differentiate between those standard production Japanese guitars and those custom shop guitars as well. I personally don't mind. I think it's good to have something, you know, that differentiates the different lines. So yes, that's my spin on it. So the cool thing with E-II is that I was actually lucky enough to visit the Tokyo factory. I was on a tour of Japan a couple of years ago and it lined up. The cool thing is that it's basically the exact same factory that the custom shop guitars are made in. I want to say the main difference between the E-II and the ESP custom shop guitars are probably the selectability of the components and of course, you know, the increased skill and craftsmanship that goes into the guitars. By, you know, selectability of components, I mean they're going to choose, you know, an especially incredibly flame maple top or a poplar bell top that's just absolutely out of this world. Maybe they'll, you know, look a bit more into the weight of the timber as well. But it's the exact same factory. I don't know whether it's the exact same workers. I like to think, you know, similar to, you know, Fender Jackson Custom Shop, there are probably master builders and head honchos that make James Hetfield's guitars, etc. But again, same factory, which I think is a very, very cool touch. And yeah, on E-II guitars, we get incredible specs. We get an original Floyd Rose, we get EMG pickups, we get a nice thick maple top, we get incredibly polished frets, a beautiful ebony fretboard, we get Goto locking tuners, we get all of these high-end features that, of course, it is reflected in the price point of the guitar, but features where you're not going to need to upgrade a single thing on the guitar. So without any further ado, let's jump in and let's talk about the specs on this bad boy. Starting off with the body. So this is an M2 guitar. M2 basically meaning that we've got a flat top. So, this differs from the Horizon shape, which you can also get from ESP, which is more of an arch top. So the body is made of alder with a lovely, lovely, lovely flame maple top. I don't know how thick the top is exactly, but it is Great looking, highly figured, beautifully book matched. And it looks very, very classy with this see-through black finish as well. I know it is sort of common trend to do a crazy like blue or purple or a gradation finish nowadays, but this is cool. It's more of just like a classic metal shred machine. So yes, outer body, flame maple top. We've got an original Floyd Rose locking bridge, as I said. This is a huge thing. Basically, I don't know if you've been that person that's picked up a $300 guitar with a Floyd on it. It's a licensed or whatever offshoot of a Floyd, and it's basically made out of cheese or something. The minute you touch it, it goes out of tune. No matter how you set it up or whatever you do, you just cannot keep the damn thing in tune. Whereas this thing, basically made out of high quality German steel and all that other good stuff, you can abuse it. And it's going to come right back in tune, which I think is absolutely sensational. It's personally, I'm going to be upfront and honest, if I was looking to buy a Floyd Rose guitar, I wouldn't get it unless it had either a Floyd Rose 1000, which is basically just below, or ideally an original Floyd Rose. So that's the bridge system. It is recessed, so you can go up as well. As well as down. The opposite, of course, would be if it was top mounted, similar to, you know, a lot of old school Strat models or certain Charvel models or an EVH Wolfgang. There's a good example. Top mounted, so you can only go down, you can't go up. That's a feature you're not going to need to upgrade. Maybe you want to chuck some titanium saddles or something on it, but that's a whole different conversation. We have EMG active pickups. Active pickups, especially EMGs, have been quite polarizing. Over the past couple of years especially, I feel like, besides Fishman Fluence, there has been a progression back to passive pickups quite a lot. I don't get the hate, to be perfectly honest. I think the thing, you just need to accept that active pickups, specifically the EMG E-II set that's in here, it gives you a sound. It's not an extremely versatile guitar, but the sound that it gives you is great. It's that straight up, we all know how the rest of that one goes. Iconic tones. It sounds kind of cliche to say, but Metallica. That, you know, whole 80s, 90s, even now they're still using, they use their own signature sets now, but that's the sound. If you're a fan of, you know, high output, especially thrash metal, just absolute balls to the walls, high output stuff, it gives you the sound. A lot of people will say it doesn't give you an incredible clean sound, but I think it's perfectly usable. You just need to use it in the right context, which is what a lot of people forget. So yes, you have EMG E-II ceramic active pickups, both in the bridge and the neck. We have just a single volume control. In saying that, it's an EMG Floyd loaded shred machine, so typically they're not going to give you a tone knob. They know what you're using this guitar for, mainly just riffs and shredding. The pot itself feels very, very smooth, feels very, very high quality as well. We do have a metal knob as well. Again, on a more entry-level instrument, that might be a hard plastic or something. Three-way selector, which allows us to access the bridge, the middle, or the neck. Not super versatile, but again, you're not getting this guitar to, you know, be a Fender Strat or something. You're getting it to shred, to have a good time on, and that's all you need to do on this guitar. That is all of the features on the body, I suppose. Let's talk about the neck now. The neck is a 3-piece maple. It's a thin U shape, super comfortable, not too thin. It's got that, it's a poly finish, I believe, over it. Not too thick a finish as well. It's summer here in Australia at the moment. I'm sweating a little bit, but it's not getting sticky, which is great, because when you're on stage under those hot lights, chances are you're gonna sweat, and the last thing you want is a super sticky neck. it is a through neck guitar. Basically, that means that from the tip of the headstock all the way down through the body, down here, that 3-piece maple neck is just one solid piece. What does this mean? Basically, it means that the guitar resonates beautifully. A different way of crafting the guitar would basically be a set neck, where it's still one long piece of timber, but basically it's going to stop maybe around the join here between the neck and the body. And yeah, cool feature. That's something that you can't upgrade if you get, an LTD 1000 series or anything else from the LTD lineup. Generally, on most models, you're not going to have neck through. That's not something you can upgrade. It's not like you can upgrade a Floyd 1000 or a licensed Floyd to an original. You literally have to take the guitar apart and build it, which is not ideal or cost effective in any way. So yes, great feature there. We don't have loom inlay side dots on this guitar, which is a standard feature on a lot of more modern progressive shreddy guitars. But as I said before, this isn't a super modern guitar. It's just more of a classic shredder. White dots on the black binding. We have 24 extra jumbo frets. I don't believe that they are stainless steel, but as is common practice with E-II guitars, they are extremely highly polished. They are not rough in any way. They're super comfortable to play on. We have the blackest of the black ebony fretboard. To be honest, I think there is a little bit of a polish that they probably put on the timber to get it this uniform and black, because after playing a little bit, I do have some coming off on my fingers. But, as you play the guitar more, that's going to wear away. You could probably wipe it off, take the strings off and wipe it if you wanted to. The fretboard is, I believe it's a 305 millimeter radius, which equates to just over 12 inch, which is nice and flat. Most commonly used on, Gibson style guitars, as opposed to like a 9.5 that you would get on Stratty type things. So flat, super comfortable to play on, especially as you go up the fretboard, because we do have 24 frets. We want the guitar to, again, like I said before, facilitate high performance, which this bad boy certainly does. We got offset side dot inlays, which look to be abalone. They look beautiful under the light as well. You can tell it's high grade stuff. And we have the ESP inlay on the 12th fret. A lot of people say that they don't like the ESP logo on the 12th fret. I think it's sort of iconic, and it still keeps the name ESP on the guitar as well. Which, for all those people that still want ESP on the headstock, you really can't win with everyone, can you? So yeah, that's a feature on the 12th fret. As we go up to the headstock, we have got, of course, a Floyders original locking nut. Reverse headstock, very cool, with that, it's more of like a Pearloid, I wouldn't say abalone, Pearloid E-II logo on the headstock. And we actually have Goto locking tuners. To be perfectly honest, I don't think locking tuners are entirely necessary in a guitar that has a locking tremolo, especially a Floyd Rose original, but it is going to make restringing the guitar a little bit quicker. So these are Goto Magnum lock tuners. This is pretty much as good as it gets. Super sturdy, super high quality, and not like cheap, they're all mass produced. More like cheap, like I said before, with a licensed Floyd. They basically feel quite loose, like they're kind of made of chalk or cheese or something. So yes, extremely high quality there. Serial number with a made in Japan sticker on the back of the headstock. And I should mention as well, the join between the neck and the headstock, well, not a join per se, as you go from the neck to the headstock, we actually have a bit of added thickness right behind the nut as well. That's basically just going to add strength to the guitar. The last thing you want is a snapped headstock on a guitar. So that basically presents that if you're going to, take it out on the road, if you're going to have knocks, anything like that, it's going to keep it sturdy. I should mention as well, this guitar was produced, I want to say, towards the end of 2021. It's now 2022. They do advertise as having, I believe it's Dunlop strap locks on the guitar, but this has actually come with ESP's own strap locks, which are more similar to the Shaler style, which I personally prefer. So I don't know if that's going to be a continued trend, but it is a feature on this guitar. I should also mention as well, this guy comes with an ESP form-fitted hard case. It's got internal storage, and to be honest, it's a very, very great, classy looking case. I like to think they're instantly recognizable. And yeah, I'll get a close-up of that guy up on the screen as well. So that's pretty much all the specs on this guitar, I believe. There's not a lot to it, because like I keep saying, you don't need a lot on a guitar like this. You just need something that's going to let you play. You need something that's going to be reliable, that's built well, and absolutely sounds great as well. So let's run through some tones properly. At the moment, you are hearing these EMG 81 active pickups running into my EVH 5153 6L6 Ivory 50 head, not before having a slight drive in front. I'm using the Rodenberg TB Drive Shakedown Special. It's the signature overdrive pedal of Tyler Bryant, who's an absolutely magnificent guitarist, let me tell you right now. It's basically a TS9. So pushing channel 3, and we are heading into the Boss WAZA Tube Amp Expander, which has a 412 cap sim going through it. So let's start off on the bridge position. We'll do some gains, hear some clean sounds, and go from there. See you soon, guys. Right, so there's our gain sounds. Now let's take it over to channel 1. I'm going to disengage that drive, chuck on my EHX Cathedral Reverb, and let's see how we go. See you in a sec, guys. And there's those, I want to say, iconic clean sounds as well. There's a lot of people that will tell you that, you know, they lack depth and dynamic response, but especially for the style of music that you're probably going to be playing with this guitar, I think they give you a bold, a rich, thick, nice, bassy, clean sound, which sounds great. So that's my 2 cents on the clean sounds, a demonstration of the gain sounds as well. And that's basically all of the specs on this guitar. So let me reiterate, if you're thinking about spending the money on this guitar, wondering is it worth it, should I just get an LTD 1000 and upgrade that, it is absolutely, without a doubt, worth spending the money on it. Yes, you can upgrade the hardware, you can upgrade the electronics, the pots, you can do the shielding inside the cavities on the more affordable models, but at the end of the day, what you're getting with an E-II guitar are the components. You're getting the construction of the through neck 3-piece maple neck. You're getting probably a more thoroughly, meticulously sorted outer body, or whatever body you're getting on the E-II. A beautiful flame maple top on this guitar. And yeah, just an incredible guitar built with a meticulous attention to detail that we've come to know and expect, not just from ESP guitars, but from Japanese guitars in general. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Always happy to help out. Just comment below. Otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out today, guys. My name is Ollie, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!